Hello everybody, and welcome to Hybrid Budgets. It's been a while, so yeah, let's have a catch up. So yeah, I've been a bit incognito, I guess. There's no big serious dramas or anything. I got married and I got a bit all swept away with everything. So yes, me and my partner are married, so I have my wedding ring on now. And unlike Natalie, the lovely Natalie from Rainbow Budgets, it was all a lot with work and everything. And yeah, it was a mixture of things basically. I started a new job with the same company, but I'm in the central team, so I'm based in London a lot more now, so I was travelling down there a lot more, had a new apprentices start, so I was working with them a lot more, so as a result away a lot more. And then a lot of wedding stuff was happening at the weekends, and just even like the weekends up to the wedding were just completely packed with stuff. And so yeah, sort of I won't say budgeting wasn't at the back of my mind, but the videos definitely weren't, and I don't even know where I've got up to at my videos at the minute. So I just thought I'm just going to have a bit of a catch-up video, a bit of a chat, a bit of a natter, a bit of a moan, and a bit of a vent about various things. And then yeah, just getting stuff back to basics, because I'm definitely behind at least a month on the cash stuffing and where I am with what money's in my account and what's in my folders, because I do everything with placeholders. So I'm just going to spend this video just having a catch up and a natter. So this is very much a, bit of a mix of a video. So let's get into it. But yeah, wedding went through without a hitch, which is all lovely. I might post photos in the video if I can work out how to even do it. But yeah, it was such a lovely day. We got married specifically in October because we both don't do particularly well in the heat, and we just love like the autumnal energy and the autumnal vibes. But yeah, it was so lovely, and that was all great. We had a bit of an issue with the hairdresser, and this is where like my moan comes from, because like I get it with like small businesses and everything, and I do, and you do pay for services ahead in weddings, which again I just find a bit weird, and you're putting a lot of faith in someone to deliver a product, and if they then don't deliver it, like you've sort of not got a leg to stand on, especially as like you don't have any protection from like a credit card or anything. Like it's all having to be like full bank transfers and everything. And yeah, basically our hairdresser decided 2 days before the wedding to tell us she had a hard stop at 11 a.m. and bear in mind I got married at 1 o'clock. I was just like, sorry, like what? And then we realised, well, I said like you can't even then get to the venue then in the times, and I'd already paid her everything, and yeah, she just was like, well, I need to go. So I booked her for a what do I call it, a exclusive day, like as in, I was meant to be the only one booked, but I think it was a personal appointment because she had a wedding, not like an appointment wedding, but like her own personal wedding she was attending afterwards. So she had a hard stop at 11, and she was just being very funny about it. And so anyway, I was just crying down the phone to my sister. I was like, what do I do? Like, it's just going to be stressful. And I just knew I'd have been sat there being like, well, if it's not right and if we overrun, like, what do we do? We'll literally have people there without, And I was like, we would have practiced. We would have done a lot with our hair. We would have practiced how we could have done it if we'd known ahead. But to give us like 48 hours notice was nothing. Luckily, we found a lovely woman through like Facebook, and she just was like, I'll drop everything. She's like, I'm going to sort my clients. I'm going to, so she just saw her clients and she came over to the house, and she was just so lovely. And it just makes you so frustrating because you're like, I know it's not the industry, it's like this one specific person, but it was just so lovely what she did. And she was literally just like the most calm, and and you're like, I just wish I had you ahead, because like I've been using this woman for a year now. I had like new colours with her, like had my trial with her, and it was all fine. Like she'd been a bit late to appointments anyway, so she was a little bit fickle, but I just couldn't believe it when I said like, you can understand why I'm not moving forward, because you've essentially like told me I've got like half the appointment now, we really can't work it with travel. She's like, oh, I'll come earlier, but I'm like, why am I getting up earlier when I need to get sleep anyway as it is? And she probably would have charged us early because she had like if she has to start before 8 a.m. charge. And then she was like, well, I'll start earlier. So she's like, I am being accommodating, so therefore you've cancelled it within our 14-day policy window, and you've changed, and I was like, fine. And just like so annoyed. You're just like, right, I've just lost that money then. And it was like £250 for all our hair. And I'm just like, but like my partner's at the moment where he's just like, look, were you happy that you spent that extra £200 on the hairdresser? And I was like, yep. I felt so chill on the day. I didn't feel rushed at all. She was so lovely. She did touch-ups. The makeup woman, again, was absolutely amazing. And he's like, well, that's it. Like, and he's like, you have to think of it as only money. But, you know, when you're like, God, we save so much to, you know, put all our, like, money into stuff. And, you know, we wanted this lovely day. And then just someone's just essentially a bit of a bitch about it. And she was just like, no, you've cancelled on me. And I was like, well, I wouldn't have even wanted her to be there on the day if I knew she was going to be clock watching at 11. She, like I say, had been late to various other appointments. So I'm like, you know, she gave herself 8 till 11 with 40 minutes, like, travel. Okay, maybe 30 minutes travel to then do, like, 4 people. I was just like, it just didn't feel like enough. And she was like, oh, it only takes 20 minutes to do hair on, like, a wedding day. And I was like, no, it doesn't. Well, she said 20 to 30. And I was like, well, my trial alone took 45. So I was like, and I wouldn't want you rushing it. And then she had the audacity to say, and I said, well, look, like, your just time management's always been a bit weak. And that's why I felt I couldn't, like, go ahead with this booking. And then she's like, oh, but you have to appreciate, like, me doing other people's hair. I take time and effort, and, like, some people's hair's different, so it will take longer. And I'm like, you've literally just counteracted what you've just said. Like, as in, you said it would take 20 to 30 minutes, but then you said, oh, different people's hairs are different. I was like, basically, she hadn't allowed any contingency, and she was expecting us to, like, work around her on the day. And she's like, oh, I can travel to your other bridesmaid. So that was the other thing. My bridesmaid had arranged, you know, childcare and stuff in the morning and everything. And, you know, originally she was going to go straight over to the venue and we were going to do the hair there. And, but now she was like, oh no, you're going to have to come and do it all in one place. And she's like, oh, I can go to her. And I was like, but again, you've got your limited time. Like, that doesn't help because she's like 20 minutes away and she's 20 minutes the wrong direction of the venue. So, oh, and you know, and she's like, well, I was accommodating. I did try and do different stuff. And I was like, but you weren't though, because you were giving me suggestions that's not accommodating when the suggestions don't work. I'm like, that's like me saying, oh, I don't know, making something up and being like, oh, therefore I'm being accommodating. I'm like, well, you're not if it just doesn't work. Anyway, rant over. Other than that, we genuinely had, like, the most loveliest wedding day. I won't lie, I got a bit drunk, and I can't remember some of it. So, well, I do remember flashes of it, but you know, when you're just like, oh, like, when did this happen? And you get like an element of FOMO and you're like, oh, when did this happen? So yeah, it was all lovely though. So yeah, but that's basically what's been going on. And like I say, work's been a bit manic. I was working over 2 or 3 different jobs, so now I'm only on this one. Come back from honeymoon, and that was lovely. So yeah, back at it really. So yeah, apologies. I might put a little note in the comments like, if you don't want the bitch session, come to this timestamp. But yeah, I needed to vent to someone, and I was like, fine, I'll vent to you guys. So unfortunately, you've had your ears chewed off. But anyway, where were we up to? So general annual. I've got £20 to stuff, and then I've got the November stuffing. So I've only stuffed 265, and I've now need to stuff up to 295 or so. I think that's 30 I need to stuff actually. So let's stuff that 30. So Remarkable needs to get another 5. And then that one is complete. Oh, there we go. So then that's got 35, 30 there. And that's all done. And then what other ones do we need to stuff? I think we're now going into these ones again. So let me take out cricket. I think I got the payment in this one, you know, and I just haven't withdrawn it. So 75, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, yeah. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 going into cricket. So we're ahead of the game on general annuals, which is good. But you know what, I'm quite enjoying just the £30 consistency, so I'm just going to keep doing that. And then this was water bill. So water bill, I had £35 to stuff in water bill to get it back to where it was up to. I might condense some of this actually as I'm going. So let me first of all just colour this off. As you can tell, this is going to be a very hectic type cash stuffing, so apologies. But yeah, I just was like, I need to get it back to what needs to be for November. So I thought, oh, I'll just do a bit of a, it's almost like a mega stuff really. So yeah, let's get this back to what it should be. So we've got 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 105. So let's swap these out actually. There we go, and condense that a little bit. So yeah, but no, it was all absolutely lovely and absolutely fabulous. There is going to be some changes to some of my envelopes, but I'm doing those, I won't lie, at this point it'll probably be around Christmas time. Just, I've got 2 weeks off over Christmas, so it'll be nice to catch up on all of that. Right, birthdays. So where did I get to birthdays? So I'm added £30 in November, but I had then taken £40 out from my mother-in-law, so ooh, that's so weird to say mother-in-law. So yeah, mum was done, brother-in-law was done, niece 3 has been done and has been paid. So I'm just going to write a little note in here, and again my partner has been paid. So I think we are then up to date with it, so we'll be working next on brother, I think, and his birthday is in December. My brother-in-law, his birthday's in December, which is all good. And then yeah, my dad, we're still debating what to do about his getting him a barbecue. Niece 1 and niece 2 are paid, yep, so we're all up to date there. Because I did stuff, well, I did transfer over the full 30 and then I took out 40. So that was all coming out of general birthdays and gifts anyway, so that's basically had no change. Perfect. And then Christmas, I think there's a lot going on with Christmas, so I think I've got a lot to catch up with here. So we've got quite a few challenges to get on with. So I need to stuff now, because I think with the November stuff, so I've got £100 to put into Christmas. So let's see what we can get scratched off here. So we have, oh, I need to find a coin. She says, difficulty. £15. So that is the rainbow, Rudolph's rainbow nose completed now. £15 going in, and then let's do some of these. This is a big one, so that's 15, 5, so 20, 25. What do we do? 15, let's do that, and then one more. £10. £10. Let me just double check I'm not overspending here. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. $15, $20, so that's 80, and it's, oh god, let's see if we can get a nice round 20, eh? 5, so 15 more to do. Ooh, 10. I don't know whether to leave it and just, oh, you know what, no, this will do week. Oh, 5, perfect. So let me just double check that. So 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, perfect. And let's do one in the middle so we know what we're stuffing for week 1 of November, which is 5. I'll just do end week 1. Perfect, so we're nearly done with this one. And then I also need to cross off here £100. So let's do these 10s. So I've got the 20 there, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And then that should theoretically be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Right, I'm going to do you another 6 because I'm sure we've only got 100 left to stuff into Christmas, but let's double check. It's because we have too many placeholders is what we've got. So we've got 500, 750, 770, 780, 800, and 820, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 880. So I think we also need, I think that is right, because then I need to do my November cash stuffing. Let me just double check. No, I need to do another 20. So let's put in 20 here. We've got that one which we're going to do is week 1. Sorry about this, guys. I am a bit all over the place. Oh, typical. And then we've got 15, 25, 35. So that's 35, but I'm going to say 15 for Nov week 1. And then that is 5. So first week of November, week 1, we're going to stuff 20. But then the 20 I've just put in then covers the £10 and the other £10 there. Perfect. I think we're all up to date. But what I will do is just consolidate this a little bit. So we have 500, 700. So 700, 750. So I'm going to change this out for another 50. And then 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. There we go. Yeah, because we're up to £900 before the November budget. Perfect. So let's put that one in for next week, and we need to keep that tracker as well. Sorry about the confusion. Oh god, I confused myself, you know, when you're like, I was consistent with what I was stuffing, I just hadn't done any of the challenges or anything, so hence why I'm just a bit back and forth. And that is it with the annuals. I hope the light's okay, because it's a bit, it's, you know, it goes dark so soon, and if I put the light on it just completely overshadows it. Right, I do have a sticky note somewhere, so let's get these sorted. Right, home maintenance. What do we have in home maintenance? These are lovely trackers. I have 320, 40, 60, 80, 395, yep. And in the bank currently, I have, well, let me just double check. I have 415, so I basically have £20 to stuff additional in home maintenance. So let's get these trackers up to date as well. So 20, so let's do 2 of these doors. In fact, I'll do these little edge ones down here. We're nearly done on this. So again, yeah, in terms of the updates, we've worked it out. So we did obviously overspend in wedding because it was an extra £250. Wow, the hair was an extra £200, and then we'd already spent that £250 on the previous person's hair, like the person we were originally going to go with, and she's just being funny about that, so I don't think we're going to get that back now. And I'm just so done with her and everything anyway. I had words with her and I just said, look, I think it's really unprofessional what you've done. And she just wasn't backing down. I was like, look, I'm just so over it now. Like, we're looking at maybe going through small claims, but my sister's going to look into it for me. But my partner's like, I don't want you having this like overarching like feeling of being upset with it, like, whereas actually if we just sort of let it go, we let it go, give her a bad review, and then let's see what is done from that, basically. So yeah, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So let's change those for 100, and then we are back in business. So yeah, this is basically paying off now. I bought some IKEA furniture. Oh my god, this was like an actual godsend for the, the wedding. Having all this additional storage, it was amazing. So yeah, and our guest room is lovely, and it's now turned into my craft room. So that is nice. Holiday, I think we've got a lot of stuff. So honeymoon and everything in terms of gifts that we got, which I'm just keeping separate. It just feels quite private what people have given us, and I just didn't want to go into it. So yeah, let's work on October, because this is the one I missed. And yeah, it was, I need to go through what we're doing for holiday and what we're doing for like honeymoon, and there will be payments going towards it because my partner had overspent on the credit card. His credit card. I wasn't aware of it. Basically, we put the honeymoon we bought on a 0% purchase card, and the theory was he's paying off the minimums on that, and then obviously when we get all the gifts from the honeymoon, that would pay it off straight away, which is fine, and it will do that, but it doesn't expire until January 27. So I said to him, well, let's keep it in the account because we're getting 4% on all that money anyway. 4% or no, 3.75% on that money. So I said, keep it in that account, and then it's accruing quite a lot of interest, whereas if we're paying off a 0% card, we're not getting that interest, and we can essentially pay it off in one big lump sum now anyway. So we're doing that, we're just leaving it in honeymoon, and then he's going to pay the minimums, but then I owe him for the half of the minimums, if that makes sense. And then we went on our mini moon, and we put the purchases on a card while we were over there, in terms of we had to put a tab on the room, so we're again using the honeymoon money to pay off his actual credit card because that's the one he uses, and so it just needs to be paid off in full. And he also bought some suits for the wedding and stuff, and again it was that was another nightmare and cock up, as in like he needed to get another suit because he hadn't lost enough weight, and then my mum tried to take out the pants and they just weren't big enough, and blah blah blah. So he was just bought basically a whole new suit, so that was on his credit card and I wasn't aware of it, and I was just like, okay. So after that I was like, oh god. And then he also said the week, or I think he was just a bit nervous the week before. Anyway, he spent quite a bit of money on like takeaways and stuff, and and I said, look, let's pay this credit card off in full. Like, I'm not going into our married life with you being in debt over anything. We've literally got the money sat there in honeymoon. So let's pay that off in full. So he's doing that, and then he's going to pay back the honeymoon pot, and then I'm paying into the honeymoon pot to basically pay for any of the minimum payments we've got, and to pay off stuff that we used for when we went away on the mini moon. So like we had about a £600 bill because we did half board, and it was about like £20 a bottle. £30 a bottle for like wine and stuff, and then we did like a bit of room service, and it was all, and we did a massage and all that stuff. But we want to keep the honeymoon pot so we can go on a bigger honeymoon in the summer. So I basically said, look, I'll pay that £600 back. And again, like I say, we went over on weddings, so we're just gradually paying basically the honeymoon money paid off the wedding money. But we now want to pay that back because we don't want to feel as if what people have given us have just gone to paying off debt, basically. We want it to go towards our honeymoon. So anyway, long story short, I need to review how I'm doing all that with the budget and everything, but that will be coming. And so when you see me putting a pot into honeymoon, that's where that is coming from. And I said that in a really confusing way. Right, holiday. So we only had £10 stuffed, but we do have £70 in the bank. So I need to stuff £60. So let's do that. So let's say we did, let me take those 2 5s out and make them 10. There we go. So we've got £70 in the account now, which tallies. So let's do these as 10, 20, 30, 40. Sorry, I don't know why this pen's so rubbish. 40, and then let's do these as 5, 10, 15, 20. 5, 10, 15, 20. So it was £60 in total in October. And then we had those as 5 and those as 10. There we go. So October is done and we are working on November, and currently in holiday we have £70. So like I say, all a bit confuzzling, but basically holiday is going to be separate to honeymoon at the minute, because we have got, like, we're going away in May, so that's what this is sort of saving up for. We've paid the price for all the May stuff. It was just more, you know, when we're over there, we'll be drinking and eating out and doing all that good stuff. Right, debt. Where are we up to with debt? So again, debt is going to get a reshuffle. So I really like, I'm not sure if anyone else has seen it, you know, the Rainbow Budget stacking cups? But because my debt is so much larger than her £5,000, I'm going to do a combined stacking cups. Because again, with the same logic as honeymoon, I was basically thinking these are all at 0% now. I've got my trajectory on how to pay them down, and I'm doing a big push end of this year and next year on all my debts. But I thought, well, I've got the MB&A debt, I've got the Virgin Blue debt, and I owe my mum and dad £2,000. So I thought, actually, why don't I put all that money, the extra overpayments that I can afford, in the pot? That's gaining 3.75% interest. And as long as I'm tracking how much I'm putting in the pot, enough that by the time these come to the point where they're having the 0% interest, the money's there ready to pay it off. We're actually making money by doing that rather than losing money, and it helps pay towards the fees and stuff. And then mum and dad said, oh, they weren't in any big rush to get the debt paid, but again, it's more of a, like, I guess you call it like there's like an emotional toll to that debt. Like, they put so much into the wedding anyway that I'm like, I would feel happier if that debt was gone. It's like a bit of a, yeah, it's, I don't want to say a shadow because I'm not being dicks about it, but you know what I mean? Like, I'd feel happier. So when I'm doing my budget now, you'll see debt extra overpayment and you'll see mum and dad payment, but they're essentially all going into one pot. So what I thought would be good is I'm doing it like the stacking cups, but I'm going to have like 3 ones. So I'm going to have one for MB&A, one for Virgin Blue, and one for my mum and dad. And it's any extra overpayments I've got, they will work out to each one, and it's really clear on what's been paid off by direct debit and what's getting basically paid off because it's going into a pot, gaining interest, and then I can pay it off together. But it's just an easier way I can track it all. So I'm going to take this out because I don't know where we're up to with stuffing all this. But I'm going to have to probably work this out a little bit. So in October, MB&A went down to 7,395 and Virgin Blue was 3,690. So I'm just going to pause this video and work that out. Right, so that's all worked out. So I need to cross off £30 on my Virgin Blue and £200 on my MB&A. So I'm going to get a new black pen. So £200 comes off the MB&A. And £30 comes off the Virgin Blue. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. There we go. Perfect. So that is debt all up to date for when we stuff in November. But like I say, this one is going to change slightly. In fact, I'm waiting for the Amazon delivery today for the wallets. Because if you like the vibe, it's literally very similar to, well, it essentially is Rainbow Budget's stacking cups, similar logic. Similar to what I do here, really, that I just condense it up and up and up and up and up. But I just wanted to separate. So this will basically be, you know how I do black if it's a direct debit and blue if it's extra overpayment. So basically this will be my direct debit payment tracker. Of like what I've paid to date on direct debits, and then the stacking cups one will be the extra overpayment. And it's basically, because it's all going into one pot, I just want it really clear what's the money is allocated to which debt. It will hopefully be clear, but I just thought, oh, it's a nice little way of doing it. Emergency fund I'm not touching purely because I need to review emergency fund. I took money out to pay for the hairdresser because we didn't have any money in wedding at that point, because we thought we were all paid up. And I had to pay an extra for, my mum wanted to get her makeup done, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes. So I paid extra to get my mum's makeup done. So I took that out of my emergency fund, which I know I probably shouldn't have, but I was like, it needs to be paid off. So this one, I think I'm going to restart this tracker again, partly because it was, I'm taking out £150 a month from emergency fund. So this isn't even what's in the account now. So, because I usually put in about £80, or I budget £80 a month, but I'm taking out £150, so it is gradually going down. So I just need to resort how I want to do this. So I'm not going to touch that one. Health is got a big hit. Basically, my sister gave me Botox, so I owed her for the Botox treatment, and also I had an ingrown toenail removed, which is lovely. But again, I just took that out of health, so I just need to rework out or restart adding into health. I won't be getting anything in November because obviously I'm up to date on treatments now, but I just thought I will get this back to basics. So we've got 80, 90, 100. So I just need to make that read right to what's actually in the account. Yeah, Botox probably isn't health, but and I don't usually have it, but I thought, oh, for the wedding. Well, I said I don't usually have it. I used to do it. I used to do it all the time, and then my sister went travelling, so I wasn't doing it for us because she was away. She's back now, and obviously I wanted to get some done for the wedding. I don't know why, it just makes like my skin a bit smoother as well, and it's meant to be a preventative. So before you even get wrinkles, you're meant to do it, but it felt like a bit of a splurge, to be honest, so at least I can properly save up for it. It's probably now going to come out the hair and beauty budget, but I had the money in health, and like I say, I wanted it done, so I did it. So yeah, whoops. But anyway, that's back to basics, so health we're at 100 now. Hopefully it's not too dark. I can carry on filming. Odds and evens, so I need to add to odds and evens £90. So what I'm going to do, so I did do a count up of this. I didn't really make much, I didn't note down particularly what was in each folder, but I did do a bit of a count up and condense of these, but they're still, as I see it, I can't remember what was in each. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to get the roller dice and just roll it as it is, basically. I'm not going to do the odd even bit, I'm just going to stuff 90. So we've got 1, so £10 into extra over credit card. So let me move that out of the way. We've got holiday, mum and dad, and emergency fund. So £10 into extra over credit card. That was 2, so £10 into emergency fund. 2, emergency fund. 4, so that's mum and dad, so that's £40. 2, emergency fund. 4, mum and dad, so 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, which is 2, 80, which is 2. I think this is a weighted dice, 90, which is 1. Actually, over credit cards, let me just double check. We've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Put 50 in. And then 20 and 20, perfect. And again, I'm just going to condense them as I go. So anyone who's new to this channel, this is my yearly challenge. So I just unstuff these at the end of the year, but they've just got different categories to go to. So I just thought it was a nice way. Usually I put either £5 or £10 in, but because I'm just trying to get it back to basics or get it back to what the value is, I've just stuffed 10. But that is done. So that is odds and evens back up to date. And then I think with electronics, I'm doing 15. So adding £15 to electronics, which is 3 stars, or the little ones anyway. So let's do, sorry, the light is definitely going. Let's do 1, 2, 3. Quite a few greens, but hey ho. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, £40 left to complete the 2025. Let's see if I can condense this. Did I add in the 15? I don't think I did. Or did I? Oh, I'll double check on the video because I'm honestly losing my brain. Because I should have stuffed 335. So I've got 200, 300 and 35. There we go. So no, I definitely did stuff it. Like a loser. Cool. And electronics is now done. And then last but not least is future. So unfortunately this is retired. All this money I'd saved for wedding is now gone. And some, we still owe a bit more. But yeah, like I say, I will sort that out in one of the next videos. I think I'm going to do a big resort for over Christmas. But yeah, it will come soon. But I'm just going to take all these out, all these placeholders, which I don't need anymore. I'll sort all that cash out later, but yeah, this was a great challenge, but it's definitely on its last legs. So yeah, it's probably a good thing that this is retired now. But yeah, I will take this out and remove it. We were so close. To be fair, I think in October I'd stuffed 400 and my partner had stuffed 400. And then for November, he'd stuff 400 and then I'd stuff 400. So we did make it to the 10k, which again makes me feel a bit sick because we've spent that, but it's good to know it was there and it was done. I don't even know whether, you know what, I might just, no I won't. I was like, I'll just colour it for completeness, but I won't do that. I won't put you guys through that. And that is it. That is it, everything done. So we are sorted now. So I do have a new pot called Hair. So the way I do it is, Hair, Beauty and Clothes I have a virtual card for, so I don't really ever stuff that because that's where like my day-to-day payments, or I say day-to-day, my month-to-month hair and beauty payments come from. If I buy any makeup or anything on Amazon, that's where that sort of sits. But I did want to start a sinking fund for hair, just because every time I go and get my hair coloured or cut or something, it's quite a significant amount. Probably, you know, around that like 120 mark, so it takes a while to build up, and I only ever get it done every 6 months or so. And then also I'm using different hair treatment stuff, so like different oils in my hair, because my hair's really thin, but I started to get in a good condition for the wedding, so it's going to get a good chop at some point, recoloured because I'm definitely going very grey now. So yeah, that hair pot is a sinking funds pot, so it's got interest added to it. So again, similar to what I do with any of these ones, if it's a sinking funds pot where I don't really pull from it until I pull it like every 6 months, I will make an envelope for it. So I'm going to create a new one called Hair for November. Debt's going to get updated in November, and I'll probably have a separate pot called Honeymoon as well. And I'll explain that when I come to it. But yeah, that is it for the cash stuffing, and it's probably not a minute too late because it's so dark now that you can probably barely see what I've stuffed. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much, and thank you for all the messages and whatnot. But yeah, I am back now. I'm debating whether I do weekly stuffing now or bi-weekly, what with work being tight and stuff. I prefer to do it and be on it a little bit, and it keeps me account. I think the issue is the filming's not the issue, it's sort of like then uploading and editing and stuff is the bit I always just am a bit delayed on. But yeah, I just thought I'd get that out there and say wish my love to everyone. And yeah, need to catch up on so many videos and whatnot, but I usually spend an evening in the hotel doing it. So yeah, drop us a note if you've got any good ones I need to watch and catch up on. But yeah, lots of love to you all, and speak to you soon. Bye.